So get this, a story about GoFundMe canceling a fundraiser for an Ontario woman charged with spraying her neighbor with a water gun. You hear a couple of these stories of water guns being, classified and charged, but holy crap, this is crazy. So it says a Simcoe, Ontario woman charged with assault with a weapon after accidentally spraying her neighbor with a water gun says GoFundMe has now pulled the plug on her online fundraiser. Wendy Washik was playing with her kids at a backyard barbecue on September the 1st. The 58-year-old educational assistant was chasing one of them with a water gun when she sprayed a neighbor who was cutting his grass. He then reported that he had been physically assaulted to the Ontario Provincial Police. Physically assaulted by water. Oh, that harmful, when I step into my shower and the water pours out from the shower head there, I just feel so assaulted. I feel so assaulted. The water just pouring down on me. Wow. He then reported that he's been physically assaulted to the Ontario Provincial Police. Washington said she tried to explain what happened to the officer, but he wouldn't hear her out. Every day is still a struggle. It's hard to not think about it constantly. Washington admitted to CTV News. It's hard to move on because it's hard to forget. I'm still worrying about the outcome of all of it. Her daughter, Randy Washnick, said that it's been difficult watching her mother ordeal over the last 2 weeks. I haven't slept since the incident, and seeing a parent go through that is not something you want to see, she explained. Washnick's son and daughter launched a GoFundMe page to cover the family's legal costs. The initial goal was $5,000, but they raised more than double that amount. Then the family got more bad news. We were up to about $12,000, and GoFundMe contacted me saying that because it was technically a criminal charge, they were shutting down the campaign. The family did get $11,000 of the money raised prior to the page's removal. Then they start. So what did they do with the other $1,000? What did they do with the other $1,000 then? I know there's some, fees that GoFundMe takes in partner with a fundraising campaign, but do you really think they took just $1,000 right off the bat? Then they started another fundraiser on the Give Send Go platform, which I recommend more than GoFundMe, as they're not sure how long their legal saga will last. You really don't realize how much support you have until something like this happens, Randy Washnick said. It's been wonderful. Wendy Washnick is also overwhelmed with support that she's received. It is just amazing, she said. It's been an overwhelming for all of us. As a result of a criminal charge, Washnick was put on leave by her school board. She doesn't expect to return back to work until the case is resolved. CTV News reached out to GoFundMe for comment, but they did not respond to our deadline. And her first court appearance is September 24th, which I believe is next Wednesday or next Thursday. I don't know. I don't have a calendar right on me. But here's kind of a bit of the backstory here also, because next Tuesday. Next Tuesday. So here's the Canadian Independent also chiming in on this, and this is what they say about this.
Wendy Washik, a 58-year-old mother from Simcoe, Ontario, was charged by Norfolk County OPP with assault with a weapon after a playful neighborhood water gun fight led to her neighbor accidentally being sprayed. The incident occurred on Sunday, September 1st, during a Labor Day weekend gathering in Washik's close-knit neighborhood. The Canadian Independent traveled to Simcoe, Ontario to sit down with Wendy and hear her story.
Thank you, Wendy, for sitting down and telling us what happened. So why don't you go ahead and explain what happened to you?
Okay. On the long weekend past, we went over to a neighbor's house for a little get-together just to get to know some new neighbors that we haven't met because we've only been here 2 years. And we were in the backyard, and I noticed there was a young boy there, and there wasn't too many kids there at that point, or at his age at least. And I said, "Do you have any water guns?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Let's go, run up across the street, and we'll get them." So we grabbed the water guns, and we started spraying each other. Went to the back and did a bit of spraying, and then he took off through the gate, and I followed him through the gate. And when I was going through the gate, I was pumping the water into the gun, and I was spraying at the same time because I was trying to spray him, and I accidentally sprayed the neighbor who was no more than 3 feet away cutting his lawn, sprayed him in the chest with the water. It wasn't a whole lot of water, and started apologizing right away because I was shocked that I even hit him. And apologized several times, but he was not willing to listen to me or anything. He went in and called the police. The police came, and about an hour later, we were all waiting around thinking we were going to put a statement in of what happened. My husband was basically told, "Bring your wife out from the backyard," and we're charging her with assault.
Oh, God, this is hilarious. So, the neighbor filed a criminal charge on this lady who sounds like a real menace, like inviting a kid over on a long weekend to play a little bit of a water gun fight. How dare she? She sounds like an evil menace. And then sprays the neighbor on his chest with water. What exactly is the assault here? Oh my God, I'm wet now. All I have to do is let it dry out. Oh my God. I mean, justice is a joke, but you know, holy crap. That's a criminal charge these days. Out of all the things that are going on in this world, out of all the criminals that are actually causing the worst of the worst to humanity, an educational assistant from a small town, Ontario, is being prosecuted for putting water on a guy's shirts that I'm sure is just going to dry out and everything's going to be resolved. You even heard her, she apologized immediately. This wasn't deliberately. It was an accident. Holy crap. Wow. How this world has come down to.
So I wasn't.
And it was assault with a weapon.
Assault with a weapon, yeah.
Assault with a weapon.
Assault with a weapon.
Okay. And what can you tell me about your neighborhood? I mean, you say you've only been here for 2 years. What is the neighborhood like?
Oh, it's a wonderful neighborhood. Everyone's very friendly. Very nice place to live. It's quiet, not too noisy or anything. Yeah.
And now, have you personally had any issues with this neighbor that called the police, or have other neighbors in your neighborhood had issues with him?
I haven't, but others have.
Okay. And would you say on numerous occasions, or is he a problematic?
He's a problematic neighbor, I'll just say that.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Thank you for sitting down with us and telling your story.
You're welcome. I'm very happy you came.
Thank you.
So, very problematic neighbor. I can't really say much about location wise, but judging from the pictures and what she says about it, I'm gonna assume it's one of those like cul-de-sac, ritzy neighborhoods. I'm sure there's like a homeowners association. Again, I'm just spitballing here. I don't know anything really about the neighborhood itself, but he seems like one of those people, just judging from that statement and the overall context of this criminal charge of water assaults. I don't know what you call it. It just seems like he's got to be. He's one of those people that is just like arrogant to the bone on precisely how this neighborhood should run and function. Like, you've ever seen those movies where you go to like the suburbs and it's like a gated community and they have the weekly meetings and they make sure that all the houses are painted, gray and white, and there's not any color, nothing off-putting, because everything's got to be alike, everything's got to be similar. I feel like he's one of those characters that he just got so pissed off at the fact that new people have come in, and there was a kid across the street. She felt bad for him, decided, hey, let's have some fun this long weekend. Let's all gather together. We'll do a activity, squirting water guns, which is wholesome to any family that I know. Like I did as a kid. My friends, everybody's done it. Played with the Nerf water guns and whatnot. But to me, it just sounds like this guy is like the arrogant stooge, like the hierarchy of the neighborhood, where you just gotta, like, things have got to go a certain way. And now that you ruined my good shirts, now that you sprayed my good shirts, I have to prosecute you to show the rest of the neighborhood exactly how to get in line. Oh man, that's hilarious. It's hilarious, but I like feel sad for her, but it's also hilarious that, I mean, the OPP is even taking this seriously. I just sometimes you grasp at, you try to understand what people think during these situations. Here you are having a conversation with this lady that's getting beaten down by her neighbor that she already apologized for shooting a water gun and shooting water at this guy on his chest, on his shirt. And the OPP agrees with the neighbor. Like, you wouldn't think in the back of your mind, just common knowledge, common sense, to think that, yeah, this is just kind of stupid to prosecute. This just is a waste of time. Like, oh my God. That's just sad. It's sad, but also hilarious at the same time. I don't know what to feel about this. And, there's a lot of crazy crimes and crazy, how different prosecutions and different things that they tried to charge people with in the most insane way possible. But this is a doozy. This is definitely the top of the month. Charging a educational assistant with assault with water because she accidentally shot her neighbor cutting grass with water and got water on his shirt. That's considered assault these days. Again, there's like no common census. There's no understanding to think that, hey, you're already out. First of all, you're already outside anyway. You're already outside cutting grass on a warm, hot day. You get squirted with water. One, I think that'd be a relief. I think that'd be a way to cool off. That'd be like, cool. But also, you're outside. It's just going to dry up anyway. You're going to finish cutting your grass with the wet shirt, and it's just going to dry up, and you'll just deal with it. Like, Jesus Christ. But file that under hilarious. What we can and cannot do with our justice system is just boggles the mind.